Fayette County, Georgia, recently found itself in the middle of a severe drought. Local reservoirs were drying up, and citizens were placed under strict rationing protocols to conserve whatever drinking water was left. People followed the rules. They stopped watering their lawns and limited their household use. Yet, across the county, residents began experiencing mysterious, drastic drops in their water pressure. The local supply was vanishing, and no one knew where it was going. The water wasn't evaporating. It was being swallowed by a massive artificial intelligence data center operated by QTS. The facility consumed exactly 113 million liters of water, completely off the local utilities' books. To put 113 million liters into perspective, that is enough water to fully supply a small town of about 2,500 people for an entire year. How does a hyper-monitored, multi-million-dollar technology hub siphon off a small town's water supply during a drought without triggering a single alarm or billing discrepancy? The Fayette County incident reveals a systemic blindness, a total administrative failure to reconcile physical infrastructure with the digital software used to track it. The Fayette County data center had massive physical industrial pipes pulling water directly from the local supply. But because one of those specific pipes was never linked to a customer account in the billing software, the utilities tracking algorithm simply couldn't see the water disappearing. Inside the facility, managers only monitored their own metrics. As long as the cooling fans kept the servers at the right temperature, their system showed green. Outside the facility, a severely understaffed local government relied entirely on an incomplete digital database to track a physical resource. Hyper-fast tech expansion is colliding with crumbling analog municipal water infrastructure built in the 1980s. Local utilities are pumping millions of gallons through aging pipes, making massive leaks and undocumented industrial draws look like standard margin of error losses. At the same time, this finite resource is transitioning from a basic human right to a speculated commodity. Wall Street now trades water futures, allowing investors to place financial bets on regional water scarcity. When water becomes a financial asset, tech giants and market speculators can pay whatever premium is required to keep their servers cool. Local citizens, backed only by stagnant municipal budgets, lose the bidding war for their own survival. The ultimate example of digital resource gluttony is Bitcoin. The entire network is kept alive by massive server farms running specialized mining hardware, requiring immense amounts of electricity and water for cooling. This chart shows the total supply of Bitcoin. 20 million of the 21 million maximum coins have already been mined. Because the system cuts the reward in half every 4 years, extracting the final million coins will take 114 years. This creates the hash rate trap. The Bitcoin network requires continuous, massive computing power, not just to mint those few remaining coins, but to maintain a cryptographic security wall that prevents the public ledger from being hacked. Over the next century, as the reward of more minted coins dries up, the massive physical costs of electricity and cooling water will have to be covered entirely by exorbitant user transaction fees. If those physical costs outweigh the potential profits, miners will simply unplug their machines. When that happens, the overall computing power protecting the network drops, leaving the system highly vulnerable to a hostile takeover. If a thief steals a physical painting from a vault, the painting still holds its value. But if a blockchain is hacked because the miners unplugged to save on pooling costs, the integrity of the ledger is broken, and the asset's value instantly drops to zero. With 40% of global data centers already operating in water-stressed regions, we are diverting millions of liters of fresh water every day just to prevent an artificially scarce digital ledger from losing its integrity. Humanity is using its most biologically finite, non-negotiable resource, water, to subsidize the illusion of infinite digital growth. If a digital network collapses because the math and the physical incentives no longer balance out, investors lose speculative money. If municipal water systems collapse because data centers and crypto farms drank them dry, people lose the foundational requirement for human life. Local governments and municipalities need the authority and the funding to force the tech industry to pay the true existential price for its physical resource consumption. We cannot drink bits. Unless we force a reconciliation between tech and terrain, the digital world will leave our physical one.